It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Well, I'm sure you know baseball season is underway. Just got underway. Could be a long season for Bay Area baseball fans, though. This is from Adam Burke from the vsin.com website, VSIN. It's a gambling, sports, odds betting website. And he did a rundown of everybody in major leagues, all the teams. I won't give you all the teams, but I'll tell you what he said about our Bay Area teams, the Giants and the A's. He said that, you know, they weren't that good against the Dodgers last year or the Padres, and so he says this was a wake-up call in terms of how far behind the top two teams in the division the Giants have fallen. He says as we head into the 2023 season, expectations are certainly lower and fall along the same lines as the disappointing 500 finish of 2022. Let's just call him for like 80 wins or so, maybe a little more. A's fans, it's not looking very good for you either. Adam says, I'm just not interested in trying to isolate just how awful the A's are going to be. They're already projected to lose 100, which is actually really hard to do. He says, you know, the A's always overachieve. They didn't really do that last year. I'm going to be shocked if they win 61 games or more. I'm also not going to be shocked if they lose 110 games. He says it's a little bit of a wild card, but either way, it's not really a playoff-bound team for the A's or the Giants this year, for that matter. All right, well, hey, let's hope he's wrong. And he has no idea what he's talking about. Giants, A's in the World Series. Let's go. I'm not going to bet any money on it, though. I'm Big Rick Stewart, the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. It happens right here every Saturday. Fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. I know you're busy today. I know, you think like, wow, the weekends, man, just hanging out. Well, some people work a lot on the weekends, and some people just catch up on chores for the weekends and cleaning out the gutters and whatever else you got to deal with. At some point, head over to 993thevine.com, enter to win tickets to a sound space session with the Mother Hips. Got to come into our very own studios. They're going to hang out. A little intimate, exclusive performance and interview. Probably get to meet the band, do some selfies and more. Mother Hips are a Bay Area band. Got their start up in Chico. We're playing this new song called When We Disappear. You'll hear it today, I'm sure. So just kind of keep your ears tuned in for that. They got their start up at Chico. Yeah, I met in college and they were kind of hanging out. And I don't know if you're familiar with Chico, you know Bradley Hall. So Mother Hips, famous from there, playing parties and more. They got signed to the same record label as Johnny Cash, Tom Petty, and the Black Crowes. That's pretty awesome, right? They got signed to American Recordings. And they kind of took a break for a while. We played them on KFOG. They are back. And like I said, they got a brand new song and more. Love the Mother Hips. Little bit of a jam band, but they rock out. They're really fun. So go sign up to win tickets to see the Mother Hips at the Sound Space Sessions right here at 993thevine.com. That's where it is, and that's where you sign up to win tickets. 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Here's a good word. Ready? Free. Or, upscale a little bit. Complimentary. Yes, Jessup Cellars in Yountville. They're offering complimentary tasting experiences for the month of April in celebration of their 20-year tasting room anniversary. They are in Noyo, North Yountville, which is kind of a locals Yountville thing. And they've been there for 20 years. And they are getting back to their roots by offering complimentary tastings for the entire month. You can reserve, you can walk in. I would take people there on bicycle tours, and people loved it. The wine, great, staff, awesome, and they have incredible artwork all inside with some outdoor seating as well. So it's a great place to go, and who doesn't love hanging out in Yountville for the day? Complimentary wine tastings available. Check them out. Jessup Cellars. They've won all the awards, and they're just an awesome, cool local place. And they've got complimentary tastings for the month of April. Check them out for more information. Thanks for listening to me. I'm Big Rick Stewart, the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information right here every Saturday, all day. 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart, hanging out with you here at 993thevine.com every Saturday. Saw this story at Uproxx, UPROXX. You ever read that website? It's pretty cool. Headline, 10 best California red wines under $30. Now, for some people, for me, not too long ago, $30 was like, wow, that's like the expensive section, right? Maybe it still is. But these are under $30, so okay, I mean, let's give these a try. And, why not? They may be from some regions that maybe you've never had wine from some of these regions. I'm not going to run down all of these. Okay, included on this list is a wine that is from Klein. It's a red wine from Klein, C-L-I-N-E, and it's from some ancient vines. Now, you hear that term a lot. These actually really are. They're from Contra Costa County. You ever had wine from Contra Costa County? Well, these vines, they were not affected by some of the disease that wiped out some of the other vineyards in our area, and they actually have been planted for a very long time. 1906, some of the oldest vines go back to. Pretty cool, right? They say it's a juicy fruit-driven red, and if that's your thing, you got to check it out. Check out the Contra Costa Reds from Klein. All right, some of the other wines that I can kind of vouch for because I've had, and they're totally delicious. Lang & Reed Cabernet Franc. They're kind of known for their Cab Franc. They get their grapes from the Sierra Foothills, Sonoma, and Napa, California. It's like $27 retail. Might be able to find it on sale cheaper. Lang & Reed, really, really delicious Cab Franc. Let's see. Over in Sonoma, the son of the guy who started Zinfandel at Ravenswood has a winery, Bedrock, and their Bedrock Old Vine Zinfandel is really super delicious and juicy. Great summertime barbecue wine and more. Check it out. Lots of great wines here from some different areas and different varietals over at Uproxx. Enjoy. The Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. 2 stories about hiking in Germany for you. Just 2 quickies. You may want to put this on your travel to-do list. I don't know. First of all, they've got this thing they call the Volksmarch, which doesn't have anything to do with Volkswagens. It's a tradition in Germany called fitness walking. Remember I did the hot girl walk? I told you about that? Okay, now in Germany, fitness walking. This is actually a pretty cool idea. You get together with friends and family, and this generally happens on a Sunday, and you go for a 10-kilometer hike. It's a couple miles, takes a couple of hours, but you can stop and take a break and, go at whatever pace you want and take some photos and all that good stuff. So you get to go out with friends on a fitness walk once a week. You go out for a couple of hours, you get outside, get your steps in, connect with people and all that good thing. And afterwards, people gather for a beer. Okay, see, there's a reward on all this. And there's even organized clubs and groups and things like this. It's kind of a big deal. The other thing happening in Germany is people can go hiking, and on some hiking trails, they have little barrels of schnapps. They really do. Just kind of out there. Someone puts it out there, and as you're hiking along, you can say, oh, there's one of those barrels of schnapps, and you have a little shot and you keep on hiking. Now, I'm not saying this is a good idea for the Napa Valley Vine Trail. I'm also not saying it's a bad idea for the Napa Valley Vine Trail, but I don't know. When the weather's appropriate, get together with your friends, go for a 2-hour walk, maybe have a beer when you're done, or a healthy drink, or have whatever you want. I'm Big Rick Stewart. Thanks for listening to the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Those Germans. Fun music and great information every Saturday at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Now, I know it's April 1st. You might think I'm fooling, just like that song. But no, I'm not fooling. This is actually a real headline from Food and Wine. MIT, all those really smart people? MIT researchers they got a bag of cookies. MIT researchers twisted apart hundreds of Oreos to find the perfect method. So here's what they were looking for in their scientific research. What is the best way to take apart an Oreo cookie so each side gets the same amount of cream? You know, because sometimes one gets all of it or none of it or half of it, or it's just a big mess, right? So they tried all these different ways. Fast, spinning, pulling apart, slow, every way you could possibly think of. And they did research and they tracked this and they measured it and they had scientific instruments. And do you know what they found out? Food and Wine says that despite their best efforts and original hypothesis, it's actually almost impossible to have evenly distributed cream on both sides of an Oreo after twisting. There's a lot of scientific explanation to this, but can we just sum this up by saying, duh? And then over at Food and Wine, there's actually a link to download the MIT plans for the Oreo meter if you want to try it out for yourself. Or, you know, just buy a bunch of Oreos and have a glass of milk. I'm Big Rick Stewart. That does sound like an April Fool's story, but it's not. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. Hey, it's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. X-Files fans got an update for it. This kind of came out of nowhere. Like, what? But a lot of people were reporting on this. X-Files creator Chris Carter says that Ryan Coogler is rebooting the franchise. Who is Ryan Coogler? Oh, well, he's only the director of Creed and both of the Black Panther films, kind of an up-and-coming young guy. So, what's the deal? What's the story? When, where, how? Not a lot of details yet, but this was an interview that Chris Carter, X-Files creator, did on a CBC show on the coast, and he talked about it and said that I just spoke with a young man, Ryan Coogler, who is going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast. And then Chris Carter said he's got his work cut out for him because we covered so much territory. Can't wait to see this because you know what? I am a huge X-Files fan. Now, if you want to binge watch the X-Files, I've done it a couple times. There is a certain way to do this. There were two kinds of shows. There was a show that was kind of what they would call the myth arc, which was the continuing story. And then there was the monster of the week. So throw out the monster of the week and look up online the Myth Arc X-Files episodes. There's about 6 or 7 per season. There's a lot of them, but when you watch them, the story really comes together and really makes sense. And it's awesome. And the early shows with the old cell phones and the old computers, it's kind of a funny technology look back in time, but the shows are really good, very well written, and the Myth Arc series of the X-Files shows is awesome. It'll get you ready for whatever this new X-Files thing might be. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack at 993thevine.com. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and KFOG, some current songs, lots of surprises and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles Brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.